Hello fashion lovers, welcome to the channel. Today's fashion DIY will be on how to make this beautiful wide brim fascinator. You can see displayed on the screen. You don't really need much fabric to achieve this beautiful cap. So without further ado, let's get started. These are the materials I'll be needing to make this fascinator cap. I have my art wire here. So this is the thicker art wire. You can get art wire from any millinery shop. I also have my already made bishop cap. You can also get this from the same place where you get your art wire. I have this little leftover fabric I'll be using to wrap my bishop cap. I have my cotton bias tape, a big hand needle, and the matching thread. I have my lace that will be serving as the base of my fascinator cap, this 6000 gum, some office pins. I have my Alice band, my candle gum, and of course my scissors. The length of the art wire I'll be using to make this fascinator cap is about 55 inches long, so you can use more or less depending on how wide or small you want your fascinator to be. So the first thing to do is to bring the art wire together. I'm going to overlap this by 1 inch. So I'll just bring this together by about 1 inch. And the next thing I'll do, I'll get my thread well doubled. So this is my thread well doubled. You can see how thick my thread is looking. So I'll be using it to bring this together. So after tying, make sure you secure this very tight. So as you can see, I've formed a circle with my art wire. So the next thing to do is to wrap this art wire with my bias tape. So I'll just go ahead and apply my fabric gum on my bias tape. After applying my gum, I'll be using this to wrap my art wire. So I've gone ahead to neatly wrap my art wire. You can see how neatly and nicely wrapped it's looking. So the next thing I'll do, I'm going to place my lace on my table with the wrong side facing up. So this is the wrong side of my lace and this is the right side on the table. So after placing my lace like this on my table, I'll place this wrapped art wire on it. So the lace I'm using is very small. It's a leftover lace, so I'll just try as much as possible to manage it. So just go ahead and trim of the excess I have here. So this is just enough to give me what I want. So after placing like this is the point where I'll be needing my office pins. So the first thing I will do, I'll come to this part. I'll just pick one part like this and pin. So after pinning, go over to the opposite and pin. So after pinning the opposite side, come to this side like you're doing north, south, east and west. Come this way, hold with your pin, go over to the opposite. So as you're pinning, just be pulling the lace a little and pin. After pinning the four sides, the next thing to do is to grab this other side where you have no pin and pin. So after making sure my frame is well covered with the lace, I'll be pinning this round. So I'll just pull a little. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'll pull a little and pin, pull a little. So this time around I'm doing it round, and when I come to the place where I pinned before, I'll remove the pin, pull a little and pin. So I'll be pulling a little, so I'm adding just a little pressure while pulling and pinning. So the more I do this, the firmer and smoother the surface becomes. You can see how beautiful it's turning out already. So I'll be pulling anywhere I have excess. I'll just pull like this and pin. So the more I'm doing this, the firmer this is becoming. But please don't pull too much. If you pull too much, it's going to affect the shape of your circle. So just continue doing this until you achieve a very perfect and firm surface. So after pulling and pinning round, this is what we have, a very beautiful and firm base. So the next thing to do is to get my hand needle and matching thread well doubled. You can see how I doubled my thread. So the next thing to do, I'll be securing this round. I'll be starting from the wrong side of my base. So I'll just take this in and bring out my needle out from the right side. Then I'll take my needle back in to the same spot where I brought it out. So after doing this, I'll take my needle in like this. I'll pass it in inside the bias like this. I'll be leaving a gap of like 1 inch interval. Then I'll take my needle back to the right side. So from the right side, I'll be going in through the same spot where I came out from, where the needle came out from. Then from the inside, I'll be going in, I'll be leaving a space of about 1 inch interval like this. So by doing this, the thread will be hiding in the fiber of the lace. So after stitching round, I'll go ahead and secure my stitches properly. After securing my stitches, before cutting out the thread, I'll just pass in my needle into the bias. I'll bring this out from another spot. Then I'll go ahead and cut. So the next thing I'll do, I'll go ahead and take out the pins. So after taking out the pins and securing with my needle and thread, so the next thing to do, I'll go ahead and secure this more with my fabric gum. So before trimming out the excess, I'll be securing more with my fabric gum before cutting out the excess fabric. So what I'll do next, I'll just take this up and I'll be applying my gum round this very close to where the arc wire is. So I'll just be applying my gum like this. So after applying the gum round, I'll just go ahead and secure this again like this. So please make sure you're using a very good gum that won't appear on the surface of your work. So I'll go ahead and just press this very well. So after securing this again with my gum, the next thing to do is to trim off the excess lace. So at this point, you need to be extremely careful. So I'll be trimming this very close to where I have my arc wire. Please be very careful. Go ahead and carefully trim off the excess lace. So I'm trimming this very close to where I have my arc wire. So you can see how I'm neatly trimming off the excess lace. So after trimming, this is what I have. Isn't this looking beautiful already? So this is the wrong side of my cap. So you can see the wrong side is also looking so neat. So after doing this, so this is the wrong side of my cap. If you followed my step carefully, you should have yours looking very neat like so. But after doing this and you feel the wrong side is not so neat, you can go ahead and just seal this up with your bias tape. That is after creating this and you feel you don't have a neat finishing around here, but my finishing is so neat, you can see it. So I won't be needing that. I won't be covering mine with bias, so I'll just keep this aside. So the next thing to do is to cover the bishop cap. So before covering the bishop cap, I'll be measuring my bishop cap from the center. So this is the center of my bishop cap. I'll just place my tape like this on the center, and I'll go in by 1 inch. So after going in by 1 inch, I'll have about 5.5 inches. So after measuring, I'll be folding my fabric like this. So I'll be folding my fabric into 4. So after folding into 4, I'll be cutting this just the way we cut our flay. Just the way you cut your flay after folding into 4 with the measurement I got. So after cutting, you should have your fabric looking round like this. So the next thing to do, I'll pick my bishop cap and apply my gum on the center like this. After applying, I'll be covering my cap with my fabric. So I'm making sure this design is at the center. You know, I'm working with a patterned fabric, so I'm being very careful on how to place my pattern. So you can see this is well placed. So after doing this, the next thing, I'll be applying my gum round my cap just like this. So after applying my gum round, I'll just go ahead and cover this up neatly. So after wrapping like this, so the next thing I'll do, I'll be trimming off the excess, what I'll be leaving 1/2 inch allowance. After trimming, I'll be leaving about 1/2 inch. I'll just go ahead and trim off the excess fabric. After trimming off the excess fabric, I'll be applying my gum around this again. I'm applying this on the fabric. So after applying my gum, I'll be folding this in like this. So you can see how I've neatly wrapped this up. Isn't it looking beautiful? So the next thing to do is to attach the cap to the brim. To attach the cap to the brim, I will be needing my gum again. So from inside the cap, I'll be applying my gum, not on the edge but very close to the edge, so you can see what I'm doing. After applying my gum round, I'll get the center of my brim. I'll just look for the center of my brim and attach this. So making sure this is well centralized. So after gumming the cap to the brim and allowing the gum to dry, I'll still go ahead and secure my cap with my hand needle and thread. So I'll be sewing this from inside. I'll be tacking my cap to my brim. I'm not just going to hold this with the gum. So I'll be tacking the cap to the brim. After securing with my needle and thread, I'll just cut this out. So you can see this is well secured no matter how you use this cap. You won't be afraid of anything pulling out. So the next thing to do, I'll just open up the needle like this, and I'll trim off this part I have on the center of my cap. I'll be leaving about half or 1 inch allowance. So I'll be trimming this off. So we need this opening here for our head to sit in very well. So after trimming, I'll be applying gum on the allowance I left for folding in. So I'll be applying my gum on my lace like this. Hope you can see what I'm doing. After applying my gum, I'll be folding in the lace. So after doing this, the next thing is to seal up this rough part with my bias tape. So I'll go ahead and apply my gum on my bias tape. So I've gone ahead to use my bias tape to seal up the rough part. You can see how neat this is looking. Isn't this looking beautiful already? The next thing to do is to fix the Alice band to the fascinator. So I'll be using my hot glue to fix my Alice band to my fascinator cap. So after fixing my Alice band, I'll just cut out a little piece like this. So I'll be using this little piece to just cover this part. So this is basically all for this fascinator. Please do not forget to give this video a like and let me know what you think about this tutorial in the comment section. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.